Hi everyone, I like the design of those IKEA shelves with these square elements. They're really practical, but I don't like that they are not made of real wood. So in this video I will make Kallax, or I think formerly it was called Expedit shelf, with these 4 compartments here. I will make it from these glued panels from oak. These panels were sold in a plastic wrap like this, and I unpacked them around 1 hour ago. And what you can already see is the panels are starting to warp. I clamped them together on the left side, and on the right side you see a gap opening of around 5 millimeters already. For the price of that oiled panels, I did not get only wood, I also got animals. After additional 12 hours maybe, the boards seem to get even again. You see that this gap is now a little bit more closed. It's not 6 or 7 millimeters anymore, it's around 3 millimeters. When you buy such kind of boards from Home Depot or an equivalent shop, make sure that you check the dimensions and if all edges are square. So for example, if I put this square here, you see a gap of around 1 to 2 millimeters here. In addition to not being square, the panels also don't have the same width. So on the left side, the edges are flush, and on the right side, you see that the top 2 panels have the same width, but the bottom panel does not have the same width. So they are missing around 3 millimeters. The manufacturer gives these dimensions, so a width of 400 millimeters, and you see you also cannot trust it, because they are more than 400 millimeters wide. And let's start cutting. The panels are now cut to length. I have 3 pieces of inner walls, 2 pieces of outer walls, and 2 large pieces for the top and the bottom. And now I have to cut them to the same width and to the correct width. The issue is I don't own a large table saw, and also my bandsaw is not large enough. So I'll use now the jointer and go over the boards in several passes and try to achieve the same width for all of them. So actually this is not a good idea to use the jointer, because when I measure here now, after 2 passes on the jointer, I have 402 millimeters, and here I have 401.5 millimeters. So I'm already half a millimeter off, and to compensate this, I think I will now switch it from pass to pass in this way. Zack, 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 zack. I did my best on the jointer, and I achieved a width difference between that side and that side of the panel of around 1/4 of a millimeter. So that's okay. So next I'm planing the side walls and the inner walls, and I clamp them together to this kind of stack to be able to join them to the same width. You know that story when you have a wiggling table and you're cutting one leg and then it did not stop wiggling, then you have to cut another leg and then the one leg is short again and you go on and on. This is what happens right now. The width of the shelf will be now 1 millimeter less than planned, but I can live with it. Now I managed to have all the panels at the same width. Super! I'm now marking the positions of the grooves in which the inner walls will rest in. They will be 4 millimeters deep and the width of the boards wide, which is 18 millimeters. I have to take 2 milling passes as my milling cutter is only 16 millimeters in diameter. Now the 3 notches in which the inner walls will go are finished. I would like to mount the inner walls not only with this groove but also with 4 dowels here. I made this punch from an old screwdriver. I just grinded this tip and cut away the handle. €0. The next step is to make joints here to allow these 2 side walls being attached to the base and to the top panel. Like this. So these 4 joints here are the next step. And the joints will be made like this, so with finger pins on the CNC machine. And you see some special thing here. You see that these corners are round and not sharp 90 degrees corners. This is necessary in order to have the CNC machine cut it, because the tool is round, and when the tool is going like this, you cannot make a sharp corner here. One more thing, you see that these pins are a little bit longer than the width of that board. The reason is that afterwards, when the connections are made and glued, I can grind this flush with this face and it will give a very nice finish and a nice end grain here. Look at this beauty. This was really problematic. Actually, I broke 3 milling cutters. Why? Sometimes the following happened. This piece was already loose and trapped like this. And then the milling cutter was doing one last pass and colliding with this piece, and the cutter broke off. The first time I thought, okay, this is unique, it will never happen again. Let's go on. Then it happened again, and I thought, okay, this is the last time, it will never happen again. And then it happened again. So actually the solution would have been to stop, rethink the issue, and do the following. Instead of cutting this piece out, cut everything. So convert every wood material inside this groove into chips. And then there would have been no piece jamming in there.